Morning. My name's Nick Armstrong. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Identity. I've got Ben Buckingham, who's our VP in Strategy and Operations. $12 billion. That's the amount that banks spent last year on their anti-money laundering programs. And that's only increasing. 20%, the decrease in correspondent banking relationships between 2011 and 2016, while payment volumes increased over the same period. 2, the number of banks that have been shut down in Singapore in the last year alone. This lack of information that can be sent in today's payment systems means that the same checks are being done over and over again at every step in the chain, slowing down the payment and increasing cost. Critical information that's needed to process the payment is missing, increasing risk for the bank. And this is where Identity comes in. Identity allows banks to exchange rich information about payments over legacy networks like SWIFT, ACH, RTGS. We do this by creating a unique identifier to each and every transaction. We call this the identity token. Identity tokens travel with legacy payment messages and allow documents and attributes to be attached. We use a private distributed ledger to create a single source of truth for information. Now, our technology is currently being in pilot production with SWIFT and 5 of the top 50 global banks. And the best thing about it is because it's middleware, it requires no change to core banking systems. I'm going to show you how. So I'll switch to the demo. Now, as I've just described, because our application's middleware, what we've done here is set up a sample integration. So on the left, you can see the internet banking screen of my company. And on the right, we've created this sidebar so you can see what's happening in the Identity application. Now, our VP of Partnerships, Antonio, lives and works here in Singapore. Antonio, are you here? Can I get a round of applause for Antonio? Now, Antonio's middle name is Usama. And we pay Antonio every month from Australia. And every month, his paycheck is held up because his middle name's Usama. And then I get a call 3 days later from the correspondent bank asking for supporting documentation. So what we're going to do now is show you a payment that we're going to do from our internet banking screen. So Ben's going to drive the demo. So this is how we fix it. So what we're going to do, Ben's going to enter in the information. We're going to watch the right-hand side of the screen. What you're about to see is a handshake between banks that happens in the Identity platform. So when Ben clicks continue, watch the right-hand side of the screen. You can see that a globally unique identifier has been created for the transaction. And then a message has gone out to Singapore Mutual, who's the receiving bank. Singapore Mutual's come back and said, to process this payment, I need 2 pieces of information. And we've presented this within the channel. Now, these documents can now be uploaded within the channel. And to be clear, this payment is still being sent over the SWIFT network. We've just created this information layer on top. So these documents can be added, and this widget requires minimal integration with the channel. It's just a pop-up. So these documents can now be added. We click Submit. And that payment's been now sent for processing across the wire. So the documents have been uploaded. Now what we're going to do is log out and log in as Jimmy. So Jimmy's an operator within Singapore Mutual. It's Jimmy's job to process payments. Click View on the payment, Ben. Now Jimmy has all this information in front of... Sorry, that's limited information what Jimmy would see today. But now Identity has enriched the payment. And if you click on this document, this is a workflow we've created for Jimmy. Jimmy can now see this information directly within the workflow. And the employment contract. And we're pleased to announce that we've partnered with KYC.com for this accelerator, a Genpact and IHS Markit company. Within the Identity token, I can now see detailed KYC information on our company. So I can see that Identity is an incorporated entity in Australia. And Ben, if you click View or Request, I can now request a document. It'll be authorized and permissioned and returned to me within the workflow. This is a game changer. This makes the compliance process faster and more comprehensive. Our goal is 3 things. To reduce cost of processing and risk for the bank, improve the customer experience, and open more business so you can re-risk in corridors you weren't able to do business before. I'm Nick Armstrong. We are Identity, and we want you to know, your transaction. Thank you.